Hey there, champions. Welcome back to another Read Aloud. We are back at it with Monday with the Mad Genius by Mary Pope Osborne. We're on chapter 10, which is called Questions. Here we go. It was twilight when Annie and Jack stepped back out into the street. "Where's the tree with the treehouse?" asked Annie. "Somewhere over the bridge beyond the big dome," said Jack. They kept their eyes on the dome as they threaded their way through the streets of Florence. When they came to the cathedral, the square was quiet. The cathedral's great doors were open. Jack and Annie could see the candles burning inside. Jack and Annie kept walking and soon came to the market. The hundreds of tents and stalls were all closed for the night. The square was empty. Jack and Annie returned the way they had come that morning. Walking down the same narrow lanes, they saw that all the shops were closed now too. They crossed the covered bridge and walked along the flowing river past quiet houses where smoke curled from chimneys into the darkening sky. Finally, Jack and Annie came to the hedge that hid the tree with the treehouse. In the gray light of dusk, they climbed up the rope ladder. "Before we go home, I want to look something up," said Jack. He pulled a research book out of his bag and looked in the index for Mona Lisa. He found it and turned to the right page. "Look, it's Lisa," said Annie. Jack and Annie stared at the picture of Leonardo's painting. It looked exactly the same, except now there was a smile on Lisa's face, the same smile they'd just seen in real life. Jack read aloud. "Leonardo da Vinci's painting of Mona Lisa is perhaps the most famous painting in the world. It is believed to be a portrait of Lisa del Gioconda. The Italian word Mona means my lady. Leonardo da Vinci never sold the portrait of Lisa. He took it with him everywhere he traveled until he died." Jack closed the book. "He kept his promise," he said. "I knew he would," said Annie. She sighed. "Goodbye, Leonardo," she whispered. Then she picked up their note from Morgan and pointed at the words Frog Creek. "I wish we could go there," she said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Sunlight flooded through the treehouse window. No time had passed in Frog Creek. The school bell was still ringing, announcing that class would start in 10 minutes. Jack and Annie were wearing their school clothes. Jack's cloth bag had changed back into his backpack. "We have to hurry," said Annie. "I know," said Jack. He looked inside his pack. He was happy to see the wand of dianthus. As he pulled out the research book, a piece of paper fell out. It was the sketch of Leonardo's angel. "Oh, I forgot all about this," said Jack. He and Annie looked at the sketch. "It shows he was really a good drawer," said Annie. "Yup," said Jack. "And it will remind us about Leonardo's secret of happiness. He was curious about everything," said Annie. "Angels, noses, birds." "Feathers, flowers, wolves, and spiders," added Jack. "Shadows and light," said Annie. "Bells, clouds, the moon," said Jack. "And every time he was unhappy about something, his curiosity seemed to make him happy again," said Annie. Jack took the angel drawing from Annie and carefully put it back into his pack. "Come on," he said. "We don't want to be late for school." Jack started down the rope ladder, and Annie followed. Jack and Annie walked together through the sun-bright woods. "I wonder where my new class will be," said Annie. "Yeah," said Jack. And I wonder where my desk will be. Close to the window or close to the door? And will Randy and Jenny be in my class again this year? Said Annie. Will Joe be in mine? Said Jack. Whatever happened to Raymond Johnson? Asked Annie. Is he coming back this year? I hope so, said Jack. And who's the new librarian? And the new music teacher? Yeah, and what kind of noses do they have? Asked Annie. Jack laughed. All the questions about school didn't make him nervous anymore. Now he was eager to find out the answers. He quickened his steps. And how long will it take us to get there if we walk really, really fast? He said. What if we run? Said Annie. Jack and Annie started running as the wind blew through the trees and the leaves fluttered through the air and the birds sang from the branches in the Monday morning woods. There's a picture. Is it clear? Can you see it? And that is the end of that chapter. The next part of this story is not another chapter. It just tells us a little bit more about Leonardo da Vinci, and I'll share that another day. And hopefully I'll grab the book I was telling you about in one of the other videos and show you another book about Leonardo da Vinci. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I hope it raises your curiosity about all the many different things all around. Have a wonderful night. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. I'll see you next time. Good night.